Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to No More News. I am Adam Green. Thank you all for joining me today, Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow, last day of the year. Maybe a late night stream. Maybe not exactly sure, but that could be fun. End of the year stream. So much stuff to cover today. Going to pick up where we left off yesterday, some of the things I didn't finish, some of the more clips that have been posted about Trump and his meeting with Netanyahu. Going to get into some of the big Christian copes we were seeing about Christmas, some of the Somalians in Minnesota, daycare, childcare scandal and fraud, and tons of other stuff. Going to be a huge show, only possible thanks to you guys and your support. Powerchat.live. Link is down in the description below and pinned to the top of Rumble and Odysee, where we're streaming live right now. Share the link, give it a like, clip the show. Make sure to follow on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are found at nomorenews.org. Also, YouTube, the Adam Green fan page on YouTube. Follow there as well. So much crazy stuff happening, so much material. I can only hope to get it to all today. Gonna be a long one today. There's tons of stuff to get into. Let's start first with these clips with Trump and Netanyahu. I think I'm gonna take a break from Candace today. There's a ton of Candace stuff I want to laugh about and expose how stupid she is, but I'm gonna spare myself and everybody from the Candace mental illness, which is ultimately just a big distraction to make us all look retarded and keep us focused on nonsense instead of everything else that's unfolding. So no Candace stuff today. Rest easy. No Candace stuff today.
Question, Mr. President, can you expound on the importance of a strong relationship with the state of Israel? And Mr. Prime Minister, you called President Trump the strongest friend for the state of Israel. You worked with numerous administrations, numerous presidents. Can you expound on that and what makes President Trump such a strong friend for the state of Israel?
Why don't you go first?
I'll say it again and again and again. We've never had a friend like President Trump in the White House. It's not even close. And I think you can judge that by not merely by the frequency of our meetings, but by the content and the intensity.
This is the 5th meeting this year since Trump got into office. Already met 5 times. I told everybody we were getting another term of Zion Don. It's going to be more Zionist than ever, and here we are. And these idiot influencers are like, Trump betrayed us. I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did.
I think Israel is very blessed to have President Trump leading the United States, and I'll say leading the free world at this time. I think it's not merely Israel's great fortune. I think it's the world's great fortune.
Well, I just want to say that it's very important who the Prime Minister and President of Israel is. We have a great relationship. It was an honor to speak before your leaders. That was a great honor for me. I think it has not happened before, or something they told me. But the relationship's been extraordinary, and Bibi's a strong man. He can be very difficult on occasion.
Yep.
But you need a strong man. If you had a weak man, you wouldn't have Israel right now. Israel would have been, Israel with most other leaders would not exist today. They would not exist. And now they're stronger than ever. Yeah, please.
The groveling of Netanyahu, it's like you can't think anything but Trump is blackmailed bad by Bibi. They've got the Epstein files. They've got a bunch of other shit on Trump. They're buying him out for hundreds of millions. They got blackmail. Oh, dude. Zion Don. They're going to make biblical books in the name of Trump. Netanyahu, another award. Remember I said, you thought Trump got a lot of Zionist awards in his first term? Just wait all the awards he's going to get with all he's going to do for him in this term, especially for bombing Iran, which they're calling to do more.
Overlap.
They are wearing matching suits, huh?
You've been a great friend, and I've been a great friend to you and to Israel, and it's been my honor.
Dude, get a room.
What I was given was really surprising and very much appreciated.
Well, President Trump has broken so many conventions to the surprise of people, and then they figure out, oh, well, maybe, he was right after all. So we decided to break a convention too, or create a new one, and that is to award the Israel Prize, which in almost our 80 years, we've never awarded it to a non-Israeli.
Wow, first Goy to ever get the Israel Prize. Dude, what Jewish award has Trump not gotten? Survive the Jive, I just asked him to come on. He's going to come on in the new year, Darmy. So stay tuned for that. The book's almost done. I just completed the final chapter last night. Not the end of the book, but like the final chapter that wasn't completely finished. So and I've already gone through tons of the chapters like over and over again, and they're fully finished. So all I got to do is like skim through, read through the whole thing beginning to end with the AI voice, and then it's getting posted very early next year. Powerchats are on. We're turning them on right now. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
And we're going to award it this year to President Trump. This was announced formally over lunch by our Minister of Education, who's responsible for the Israel Prize. It's going to be awarded to President Donald J. Trump for his tremendous contributions to...
Optics Prime sent $5
Thank you,
on
Optics
Rumble.
Prime.
We can't have white nations because of the holly, according to a UN replacement migration report.
Yep. That's how they try to bludgeon us, for sure. Any nationalism is going to lead to another Holocaust and is Nazis, right? They drink water, so now we can't drink water anymore. Dude, all the awards this guy's gotten. Hey, where are all the QAnon people, too? Oh, trust the plan. 2 more weeks, saving Israel for last. Where's that at? Where is that at? All these grifters that chilled for Trump before the election when it mattered. And what has it gotten us? Our golden age is the golden age of Zion.
Trump for his tremendous contributions to Israel and the Jewish people.
Yes, Orson, you can submit book cover designs, tag me on Twitter or email me. I prefer on Twitter because I don't like opening emails. We were going through book cover designs yesterday. In fact, you guys want to see one? This is the picture. Here's one of my options. I was thinking I'm going to come up with a few mock versions, and then you guys can vote on Twitter or on the stream which you think is the best. Here's one. This is the picture I took of the most Jewish Jesus looking ever on the ceiling of the church in Salzburg, Austria. Something like that. Picture of Jesus deception. Simple. Nice and simple.
It's such a fitting thing, and it would honor us, obviously, Mr. President, if you could visit Israel in that occasion on our Independence Day. But I have to say that this reflects the overwhelming sentiment of Israelis across the spectrum. They appreciate what you've done to help Israel and to help our common battle against the terrorists and those who would destroy our civilization. So,
Amalek.
Again,
our battle against Amalek.
And appreciation.
Thank you, baby, very much. That really is a great honor.
It's very beautiful, baby. Thank you so much. Such a great honor coming from the Jewish war hero.
Great friend. And
The greatest leader Israel's ever had. We're just 2 war heroes, the greatest leaders of all time. 3,000 years they said they couldn't make peace in the Middle East, but I did it. Trump says he's not concerned about anything Israel is doing. Of course not.
other people.
President, are you concerned that Israel is not moving quickly enough to phase 2 of the peace plan?
Well, I'm not concerned about anything that Israel's doing. I'm concerned about what other people are doing or maybe aren't doing. But I'm not concerned.
I'm only concerned with Hamas. Israel can do no wrong. They're our greatest allies. I'm only concerned about Iran and their nukes. I said I destroyed all the nukes, but there's actually more, so we got to bomb them some more. Bibi told me. Miriam Adelson told me that there's more. The job isn't finished. We're going to play a clip in a second. Dershowitz says Trump needs to bomb Iran to really be the peace president.
People are doing or maybe aren't doing. But I'm not concerned. They've lived up to the plan. They're strong. They're solid. And sometimes they don't understand when somebody violates something that you want to give them a second chance. Well, we'll give them a couple of second chances. But no, Israel's lived up to the plan 100%.
President,
Israel is lived up to the plan 100%. Trump threatening Hamas.
We talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament. And they're going to be given a very short period of time to
Disarmament? Has one single rocket been shot since October 7th? What are they going to disarm? Their tanks, their planes, their navy? They have none of that. What, they're going to take some of the... all of Gaza has been like turned to rubble. There's hardly a building standing. It's been turned to a demolition site. And we're still talking about Hamas needs to disarm. They still have too many advanced weapons. They have nothing. What are we talking about?
disarm. And we'll see how that works out. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in charge of that.
Jared Kushner is going to be in charge of Gaza, actually.
From our side. But if they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then they'll be held to pay for them. And we don't want that. We're not looking for that. But they have to disarm within a fairly short period of time. We talked about Hamas, and we talked about disarmament.
They gave up all the hostages. We got all the hostages back, but now they need to give up their handguns. Like, has there been any proof that Hamas even exists anymore? I haven't seen any of it. Trump on Iran.
Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading that they're building up.
I've been getting the briefings from all my Zionist handlers in BB, and I've been reading. BB says they're building up again. I guess we got to bomb them some more, give Israel some B-2 bombers. $2 billion a pop for our greatest ally.
Weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it, because we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. It's a 37-hour trip both ways. I don't want to waste a lot of fuel. Don't forget, we made the...
Yeah, the fuel, that's going to be the cost, is the fuel, I'm sure. All right. Trump ranting to Netanyahu on a hot mic, complaining that he doesn't get more credit. Well, they already gave you the nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. He's like, what a surprise.
Years of fighting, and they
Turn on the mic.
But to both of them, I said, we're going to cut you off. No more trade. Then I put 200% tariffs on. The next day they called. We looked at 35 years of fighting, and they stopped. Do I get credit for it? No. They gave me. I did 8 of them. India. How about India?
Nobody ever gives me credit for anything. All the great peace I've done. Only the Jews call me the Prince of Peace, and give me all the awards. This guy gets awards every day from Jews, and he's like, nobody gives me credit. Only the Jews.
And then, so I did 8 of them, and then I'll tell you the rest of it. How are you doing? Okay. You gonna all be outside, the beautiful sun?
Jared Kushner sitting at the end of the table.
It's a very good group.
Oh, I was told Jared Kushner wasn't going to be a part of the administration. I guess No More News was right again about that.
We made a lot of progress already. We had about a 5-minute meeting, and we've already settled about 3 of the difficulties. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Weird look from Netanyahu.
They can't get enough. Well, they can't. But just think so.
Now, here's Dershowitz Dude, I'm so sick of Dershowitz. Says that Donald wants to be Epstein's lawyer. Says if Trump must support regime change if he wants to be known as the peace president. He needs to bomb Iran if he wants to really have peace.
This didn't come up today, but they'll never be found out. The rest of the world is moving away from Israel, but Trump is moving closer and closer to Israel. And I think...
Can you get any closer?
He sent a very powerful message to Iran that they better not be developing the capability of sending rockets to Israeli civilian cities.
You better not.
Developing.
What movie is that? I told him, you better not. Oh, yeah, we already went through this. It was Orange County, Jack Black. I was supposed to get that. You better not.
More nuclear weapons, because if that happens, there are going to be more B-2s. But, Israel doesn't even need American support. All Israel needs is the green light from Donald Trump to go in on its own and destroy Iran's nuclear facilities. Look, in the end, and this didn't come up today, but they'll never be...
Oh, they don't need our help. That's why they had to have help from Trump and the B-2 bombers. And now they're asking for B-2 bombers for us to give to them. Yeah, but they don't need our help. It's so insulting how they milk us for everything, demand our support, buy off our politicians. Thank you, Maxed Out Bear.
$20 on Rumble. Happy New Year's Eve.
Eve, yes. The eve of the eve. I'm probably going to stream tomorrow, too. Isn't it insulting how they're always like, oh, we don't need your help. We can do it without you. We can protect ourselves by ourselves. And then, but also always demand help. We're not stupid, Dershowitz.
In the Middle East, unless there's regime change in Iran. The current Iranian regime is the major barrier to peace in the Middle East. And if President Trump wants to be known as the peace president, he has to be in support of regime change. And then there can be deals with Saudi Arabia and all the other deals. Now, the rest of the world...
There's some Jewish Epstein lawyer logic is you can't have peace unless you have more war and regime change. Come on. Is anybody surprised? Come on! Is anybody surprised? It's like George Orwell. War is peace. Dershowitz also, in this Newsmax interview, says Palestinians haven't earned themselves a state the way the Jews have.
Beowulf 914 sent $20 on Rumble.
Buddy. Thanks,
$8
Beowulf.
billion contract was allocated to build F-16s for Israel.
Yeah, they don't need our help. That's why they're constantly lobbying and buying off our politicians for more support and aid and weapons bills for Israel. Of course, because they don't need our support.
And look, Palestinians haven't earned themselves a state. They have to earn a state the way the Jewish people earned a state over hundreds of years of state building. And
hundreds of years. Palestine didn't exist before Israel. They weren't there. They didn't have their villages. They didn't have a society. Oh, they don't deserve it. Only the Jews deserve it because God gave it to them.
You can't just create a state out of nothing. And maybe someday there'll be a Palestinian state, but it will be a state without terrorists, without Hamas, and without the current Palestinian leadership. So I think it's a possible dream for the future, but it's not
dream
in my lifetime.
Well, you're about to die. A pipe dream. It's always been a pipe dream that they're going to have a two-state solution. Dude, I can't believe anybody's still listening to this guy. The worst of the worst. Jonathan Pollard lobbying the huge high-level spy that sent our secrets to Mossad, and then they sent them over to Russia, the Soviet Union. Jonathan Pollard is lobbying the Israeli Knesset to reinvade Gaza, ethnically cleanse the population, and make it 100% Jewish. And this is who... This spy that was Trump released back to Israel for the hero's welcome, one of the biggest spies in American history. Remember, Mike Huckabee secretly met with him, and then it got exposed recently.
The stage for our future. Joining us now from the Knesset is Jonathan Pollard. Shalom.
Shalom, Yoni.
So you participated in a session in the Knesset which called for Israel to resettle the Gaza Strip with Jews. And you know, Jonathan,
I love how this high-level spy gets freed to Israel. Now he's like working in the Knesset. Now he's like a top personality in Israel. He's a hero in Israel for spying on America, and they pretend to be our greatest allies, and people still fall for this shit.
I feel that today the consensus in Israel is not with you on this issue.
No, I actually feel that the consensus would support a return to Gaza as completely as we can. I think a lot of the polls have been mistaken, and they've been poorly worded. I've seen better polls, and they all indicate that a complete return to Gaza that's been cleared of its current Islamo-fascist population would probably be an acceptable solution as far as most Israelis are concerned. Our repossession of our biblical land in Gaza basically set the stage for our future. Why? Because it will show our enemies that if you fight us, we will not only defeat you decisively, but we will take back our land as well, permanently, to make sure that they're safe and secure going forward. And the only way that's going to take place is if we have a Jewish Gaza, 100% Jewish Gaza. As far as President Trump is concerned, look, the man likes winners. There's no question about it. It's time we start acting like one, rather than
Jews never gonna get tired of winning.
Permission to be
and the
one.
Christian
We should
L's.
simply act like one. And this is why I firmly believe that just as America has a policy of America first, we should have a policy of Israel.
Yeah, we're so America first, right, Jonathan Pollard? Yeah, they say you can't be it's anti-Semitic to be America first, and then he sits up here and is like, we're just being Israel first like you're America first, goy. What was that comment? Oh yeah, he says we're Jews, we defeat our enemies. And then but the Christians, we pray for our enemies and turn the other cheek. Big contrast there. Mike Huckabee draws a hard line for Republicans. He says love of the Jewish people is mandatory. And even if you agree on 90%, if you don't agree 100% with loving Israel and the Jewish people, you're out.
Whatever. If we agree with them on 90%.
It seems the Jewish community keeps hearing more and more anti-Semitic sentiment, anti-Israel sentiment. Is that the direction of the party, or is that going to fizzle out? What can we do to make sure that we continue to protect the Republican Party to grow in the right direction?
Yeah. That there's this old adage that says, the friend of my enemy is my friend. We have to call out those, whatever. If we agree with them on 90% of the issues, and yet they are anti-Zionist or they are anti-Semitic, we have to call it what it is. We can't say, well, gosh, they agree with me on limited government. They think taxes should be lower, or they're good Christian people. That's great.
One policy, single issue voter. Have to be pro-Israel or you can't be a Republican. Well, we need a new party if you can't be right-wing without supporting Israel. We need a movement of secular, non-kooky people that are nationalists and right-leaning. That's what we need. No more of these Bible kooks, these rapture fanatics, these Israel slaves having any influence in our world.
Whatever political party they are behaves in a way that is inconsistent with the love of their fellow man and the love of the Jewish people here in the United States and the Jewish people in their rightful homeland in Israel or wherever they may be in the diaspora. Republican leaders have a responsibility to not only just call it out, but explain why that's so deeply inconsistent with who we are as conservatives and Republicans.
Why? Because Judeo-Christian values. Watch, here it is.
That's sometimes the hard part. is to say, gosh, Joe's my friend, and Joe said something like anti-Semitic, and I don't want to make Joe mad. Joe agrees with me on being pro-life or whatever it may be. No good. That's insufficient. There are
insufficient.
We're a Big Tent party. We have people with lots of different ideas. You can agree with me about what the right marginal tax rate is on capital gains. That sounds great.
Big Tent party, as long as you worship Israel. As long as you're a slave to Israel, as long as you never criticize the foreign nation that's buying off our president and our politicians and making it illegal to protest or criticize them.
You cannot allow disagreement on this issue to creep inside of our party, because it will be poisonous and it will grow and metastasize in ways that will be really difficult to get back. And so I've actually been encouraged over the last weeks and even last few months that the handful of folks who have behaved in ways that are inconsistent with love of the Jewish people and being pro Zion, right, Zionists in the truest sense, those of us who have stepped forward and said, no, that's out of bounds, that's unacceptable.
Out of bounds. No tolerating. It's out of bounds to not be a slave to Israel. Trump said the same thing. Congress used to be completely controlled by Israel, but not anymore. But elect me and we'll put them back in charge. America first.
It's really important, because your point is well taken. On the left,
imagine our politicians acting like, oh, you have to love another country, otherwise you can't be a conservative or a Republican if you don't love another country. Dude, all of these traitors, this is just absolutely despicable and disgusting. I'm so sick of it.
The ability to get this back has proven incredibly difficult. I think Senator Fetterman would say he doesn't know the path to get it back. I don't either. I pray one day that they will come to see this as the righteous thing to do and the way to behave.
Righteous goy.
Inside of our party, we've got a long, consistent history, and we need to protect and preserve that.
Absolutely.
He looks like such a little...
What an idiot.
Thank you, Anonymous.
$5, I would support a right-wing party whose primary platform is American First anti-communism. This will likely attract Catholics, which is fine. I am fine with 1 million Joseph McCarthy's.
Catholics are just going to end up subverting it and making it Catholicism first, and then we can't allow in the Christian kooks. I'm sorry. If they want to check their Christian kookery at the door, then maybe, but no. We've seen what they do, what the Christians do with a country. We've seen where that led. People better wake up quick or we're screwed. New See Through It All clip. In an effort to promote Christianity, this rabbi says Rome has no future. Israel is the future. Embrace the Jewish roots of Christianity. See, this is what having Christians in power gets us. The destruction of the West and the propping up of Jerusalem.
The Christian world is really pulled into two directions. It's a mixture between Rome and Judea. And what the world needs are Judean Christian values. And so what does that look like? That looks a lot more Hebrew. It looks a lot more Jewish. And I want to get tachlis. I want to be very practical. What I think, you want to change the campaign? This would be the campaign. Let's take the 10 Commandments seriously. Let's actually hold the Torah as a standard in our life. Now, I didn't know...
Oh, they don't believe the Torah. Oh, they only believe the Talmud, not the Torah. There's nothing wrong with the Torah. We like the Torah. Christians are like, we love the Torah. We want the 10 Commandments in our schools. We want to have a moment of silence. Oh, it's not going to turn into Noahide training centers.
Charlie Kirk, but since his assassination, I've watched hours of his talks. And he actually promoted Shabbat. He promoted Shabbat for Christians because it's number 4 in the top 10. Christians will fight for it to be in the courthouse. They'll fight for it to be in the classrooms in Texas.
Oh, good. I just said that.
10 Commandments, because everyone that believes in God would honor the 10 Commandments. What about honoring Shabbat? And then
it's weird because it also says in the Talmud that a Gentile is forbidden to keep the Sabbath. They're the Shabbos goys that are flipping the light switches and working while the Jews rest and read Torah. So it's weird Because the Talmud says you're not supposed to, Gentiles are not supposed to honor the Shabbat. So why are they promoting it now? Just to Judaize?
It's like, well, I don't know what's the number 4 in the top 10. And so I think Christianity in some ways needs to make a revolution. And what's a revolution? It's when it goes all the way around, all the way back to the beginning. And
Noahide. They're going to re-Judaize it and turn it Noahide. Back to the Hebrew roots. No, I'm sorry, dude. The Catholics are retarded. No. The litmus test is if you're dumb enough to believe in the Bible or not. If you are, you can't be anywhere near making decisions or leading anything. Sorry, we have to have standards.
The beginning was in Judea. The beginning was right next to my home in Bethlehem. And Shabbat, the Torah, it is to embrace what it is to be Jewish. It's
lying
to embrace
retards.
The Jewish roots of Christianity. That's what will save it. Now, there's a setup that's happening now. And if you don't see it, you have to be blind. But the Bible says towards this time in history, all of the nations are going to turn against Israel.
There's the setup.
There's a rise in anti-Semitism. There's a rise in anti-Semitism. This is tragic. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is exciting. There's a rise in anti-Semitism.
See, they love it. This is all the plan, and they love it. And this is why the algorithms are boosting all the kosher Christian anti-Semitism and the kooky theories. That's why it's happening. It's part of the plan.
Slowly actually aligning against us exactly as promised in the Bible, as if we had any chance of stopping that. But what we can reach out to are the righteous among the nations that are also spoken about in the Bible.
Oh, the righteous goy, the Noahides.
The people that really love God and love the Bible. We need to reach out to those righteous among the nations and say, we are aligning with Israel just like Ruth.
See, they want you to love the Jewish God and love the Jewish Bible. That's their goal. All these liars online like, oh, it's Jewish to promote evolution. No, Genesis is real. Like, you guys don't get it at all. Oh, they don't believe in Yahweh. They worship Moloch and they're Khazarian, Moloch, Satan worshipers. No, they worship Yahweh and they want you to believe the Bible and be a Noahide. That's what they want. Get it straight. Stop being stupid. Stop the copes.
The great grandmother of King David says, your people are my people. Your God is my God. Your lifestyle is my lifestyle. And our lifestyle is honoring the 10 commandments. So it's to push back while actually adopting a more Torah-oriented biblical life. That's the only way to save Israel. That's the only way to save Christianity, because without the Torah, without the Judean side of Christianity, then you're just left with Rome. And Rome has no future.
Oh, it sounds so great. Wow. Just left with Rome. Hey, without Christianity, we'd have no Judea and we'd only have Rome, our beautiful pagan Rome. That's what we could have. Listen up. They're like, Rome has no future, only Judeo-Christian. And then these idiots online are like, no such thing as Judeo-Christian. Judaism came after Christianity. We're the real Israelites, blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
Says that Israel is the dove of peace and Edom the eagle of destruction. Jesus and the Holy Spirit entering your heart is an Israeli conquest of your soul.
Very true. Very true. They know it. They said the quiet part out loud again, yeah. This whole Rome and Jerusalem shtick. You got to be a Judeo-Christian Noahide and have your Noahide laws and your 10 commandments and worship the God of Israel and believe in the Torah. Otherwise, you're with Rome and you're pagan and you'll be destroyed. And these idiot Christians online are like, no such thing as Judeo-Christian. Jesus wasn't Jewish. Oh, paganism's a psyop. Fuck you. You guys are retarded, controlled op liars. And I'm sick of it.
I said to him, and this is the only thing, why are you obsessed with Israel?
Because the Bible.
Why are you acting like you have more allegiance to Israel than to America? Where does this obsession come from? And I said to him, and this is the only thing I said, and then
this is a Christian
online. I said, my Savior is a Jew. I went to church on Sunday, And I had multiple people come up to me and say, I have never thought of my Savior being a Jew. And it was one of those moments where for me, it was like, that's data. That is data of how much of a disconnect there is between Christians and pastors and how we're preaching. And I'm not a pastor. Anytime they ask me to go on stage, I make it clear, I'm not a pastor. But what I learned from that moment is there is such a grand disconnect that there are, I think, millions of Christians that do not think of their Savior as being Jewish. And if you don't have that connection, then there is no connection to Israel that is real or significant. It's just a story in the Bible and it happened in a place. So my question I want to ask all of you is, do you have an idea? Do you have something that you can give to people here of how we can start to change the context? Because what we're doing right now, we are losing. We are losing because it's either become stale or stagnant, or we've told the story too many times the same way, and it is not connecting with the world. It's not connecting with Christians. It's not connecting with conservatives.
Oh, the fatigue. The fatigue is so bad. Okay, before we get into anti-Semitism here, I saw See Through It All just shared another clip he said I should play that came to mind. Thank you, See Through It All. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's Byron Stinson. I guess he dyed his hair red. Bad hair dye job. He wants to be like the red heifers. Hey, I think we figured out how we have all these red heifers. Hair dye.
God has linked his heart, his reputation to a city called Jerusalem and a people called the Jews. God calls them the apple of his eye.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that God loves the Jews more than he loves any other people. God loves all peoples equally. But God is...
If I had like 10 kids, but one I said, you're chosen, you're above the others, you're my treasured possession, you're the apple of my eye, you're the holy child, but you're not better than the rest of the child. Who would believe that stupid shit? Stop gaslighting.
Chosen the Jewish people to tell a very unique story through.
Yes.
And so that they can...
Hey, child, you're the unique one with the special destiny, okay? And all the rest of the children need to bow down and listen to you and follow your lead and serve you as Noahides. But it doesn't mean we're better. Oh, yeah, okay. Boomer audience falls for it? Probably.
Become the Or HaGoyim, the light to the Gentiles. And through the story of God that he's telling through his friend Abraham and his descendants, we begin to come into rhythm and vibration and connection with the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We know him through the Jew, Jesus. If you're a Christian, there's a Jewish man living in your heart.
Very true. In your circumcised heart, your inwardly Jewish circumcised foreskin of your heart, there is a Jew. Like the Pope said, inside every Christian is a Jew. Salvation is of the Jews. Worshiping the King of the Jews. That's the truth. Stop coping.
If you're a Christian, there's a Jewish man living in your heart. If you're a Christian, you believe that there's a Jewish man, and this is important, not seated on the throne in heaven.
That's right.
This is important. The Bible says he's seated on the right hand of the Majesty on high.
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
I'm so sick of these Christians. And all the cope, oh, not real Christians. Oh, they're Schofield Christians. That's not real. I'm the real Christian. Yeah, heart wieners. All right, let's hear Shmuley says, anti-Semitism is ingrained in the DNA of white people.
Unlike Europe, where anti-Semitism is almost ingrained in the DNA of European nations. Ingrained in the DNA of European nations. And the Holocaust, pogroms, auto-da-fés, inquisitions, expulsions.
Yeah. Hey, how about hatred for the Gentiles is embedded in Judaism? How about your supremacist delusion and your wannabe chosen people and your hatred and wanting and megalomaniacal agenda to rule over the nations is embedded in Judaism. That's the truth. Fox News segment, Robert Kraft monitoring anti-Semitism. Remember this?
Reaches many.
With Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is such a sellout. I've never seen a more sellout video than this. Oh, Crip Walk, gangsta. I'm a gangsta. And now he's shilling for Jewish billionaires.
Kraft's personal mission is to make people aware of hatred toward Jews and others around the world.
Yo, thank you, Anonymous.
Sent $5. Roman decline led to Germanics to rise. Rome was usurped by a Germanic warlord. The depth of Jewish delusions must be studied.
That's what we're doing every day. Another day on the Studying the Jews. Studying the Jewish Twilight Zone. Thank you.
I see these things everywhere.
His office scans the internet on this giant screen, searching for signs of anti-Semitism online.
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods. I hate you because you look different.
He aired commercials during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, these really work.
Is to make the Blue Square campaign reach as many people as possible.
Blue Square. That failed. Has anybody seen a Blue Square? No.
Particular university campus and see what's happening there. And we can isolate that and know how hate is being spread on that campus so we can provide that.
Whoa!
Tie again.
Harry,
Me and my family from this self-hate. I owe a lot to you and Spencer. I would
Thank
love
you.
to see you collab more with Spencer and Brahman. Keep it up. You are appreciated.
Thank you so much, Harry Conth. Huge shout out. Smash the goal. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
They're
dude.
nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, baby.
Absolutely. I'll have Spencer and Brahman back on again soon. Spencer actually asked me last night if I wanted to join his podcast right now today, but I said I have a show I promised I have to do. So maybe in a few days, but definitely soon. Thank you, Harry.
To the administration of that campus.
Then there's the story about the rapper from a hardscrabble.
We played this the other day. I'm not getting into this guy again. Meek Mill. Okay, well, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, that's right. The Trump-nominated anti-Semitism czar says that we need to protect every Jew worldwide. And remember, he also said he's going to set up a division at the State Department, the biggest division going after anti-Semitism with AI and the tech companies. He goes, which most are Jewish. Here he says, every Jewish person is a Zionist.
Worse. Places like X are a... Look, we've seen the conversation course.
Harry is confirmed not Jewish. Confirmed most Goyish man ever. Thank you so much, Harry. That is incredible. Really appreciate the support.
We know that, right? So again, it started in the 2015-16 campaign with candidate Trump, and we've seen a deterioration now on both sides of the political aisle. There's no more shame. Social media has made this even worse. Places like X are a cesspool where the worst instincts, our basest impulses actually get reinforced and drive clicks. So that helps to create and condition the public to think, hey, it's okay to attack people because they're Jewish, to demonize people because they look different.
So, Jonathan,
okay, it's not because you look different. And the idea that, like, we can't criticize Jews or Judaism or Israel is bullshit.
is it too much to say that this is a growing epidemic without a vaccine?
Yes, it's an epidemic. It's a viral epidemic, and we need the inoculation. And here at the ADL, we have the antidote. It's Holocaust education and hate crime laws.
Yeah, look, it's interesting, right? There is no sort of cure, I think, no vaccine, no way we can inoculate ourselves from intolerance. It requires relentless attention. It requires education. It requires engagement. And our leaders need to lead. Again, you're doing it on the show by talking about it.
Right.
We need more people.
Thunderstorm, thank you.
On Rumble. Have you seen the clip of Latvians singing to their ethnic gods? It's refreshing seeing other Europeans that love themselves. Good luck on your book, Adam.
Yeah, I've seen those satanic, demon, pagan barbarians singing. It's disgusting.
Jesus Brack.
They need to convert.
Shabbat Shalom, Michi.
Thank you, Jesus Bryce. Yes, shalom to you as well.
To lead and to say, by the way, on the left, they need to call it on the left like John Fetterman is doing.
Right.
On the right, people need to call it out like
guys, book when? Very beginning of January. I promise you, very beginning of January.
Is doing, and to say it's not okay.
So here's what's most disturbing about this. There's a generational
It's worth the wait, trust me.
This is not just about supporting Israel.
Yeah.
As you know, I mean, I have a lot of problems with what Benjamin Netanyahu has done. This is not about that. This is about hatred for Jews. And for some reason, on the far left among younger Americans and on the far right among younger Americans, there is open hate for Jews. Some of the most conservative people I know are putting the siren on top of their car and saying, hey, you know, we conservatives have a problem with anti-Semitism among the young here.
Right.
We've got to do something about it.
Yeah.
And so again, that's right and left.
Look, I think we've got to credit people like Erica Kirk, who called it out on that CBS public town hall just the other day. We need more people in the conservative movement to do exactly what you're saying. It's starting to happen, and that's a good thing. Because when the Heritage Foundation sort of launders Tucker Carlson, all of us lose, right? The American public loses when this kind of hatred of a small minority becomes normalized and becomes like political props. It's really unconscionable.
And when it happens on college campuses on the far left,
100%. You need the same relentless attention, being bigoted against people because they pray differently or worship differently, wrong. And again, holding all Jews responsible for policies you don't like of the Jewish state, wrong. Just like you can't hold Chinese Americans responsible for what Beijing is doing.
I love how he tries to say that, like, you can't hold Jews responsible for what Israel does, but then out of the other side of his mouth, he'll say that 99% of Jews are Zionist and that it's genocide to criticize Israel. He'll get up here and go, oh, of course you could criticize Israel. But then he'll say, oh, being anti-Zionist is genocide. Barry Weiss blaming social media. The crackdown on social media is coming.
3 months ago. He was murdered 3 months ago. If you go on the internet, and frankly, it has leapt beyond the internet now into real life, and you talk to many seemingly sane people, they do not believe that the 22-year-old named Tyler Robinson that has been arrested and charged with his murder is the actual murderer.
Who did they think? Yeah.
They believe any number of theories. They believe that Erica Kirk was his Mossad handler and that he was killed by a foreign government. They believed that she was tracked by Egypt.
See how this is playing out? So the Jews appoint Barry Weiss to be the head of CBS, and now she's running the programming for millions of people that watch mainstream media. And it's, oh, look at these evil anti-Semites online and social media and attacking the grieving widow. See how this plays out in the real world? What is Candace doing? Distracting everybody, discrediting the opposition, making us look retarded. That's all it's doing. She's not taking down Mossad and exposing the assassination. She's a kook grifter, and all of the people online still encouraging her and egging her on. You're either morons just as stupid as she is, or you're coattail riding grifters trying to get in on the action.
Egyptian planes. They believe that the rings on her hand are signs of Illuminati. The theories themselves are absurd. What matters is that, because she speaks about this in the interview, the brain rot that social media is allowing to spread, the way that it is detaching us from humanity, from our ability to talk to one another and our ability to discern the truth from just out and out lies, is something that is incredibly important as a theme, I think.
That's what
Candace was astroturfed by a bunch of Jewish influencers like Dave Rubin and Dennis Prager and TPUSA and Daily Wire. She'd be a nobody if it weren't for being astroturfed and boosted by the Zio networks. And now somehow she's still allowed on YouTube to have this huge, wildly boosted on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on all the big platforms, just boosted to the sun, to the moon. And now you criticize Candace and they go, oh, her stupid bot-like followers are like, oh, $7,000 for you. Sorry, I was criticizing Israel with the truth while Candace was cashing big checks from Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager. Now she come, and I've been on her case and suspicious of her and her supposed, new way of seeing the world since day one. It's the Frankist kookery. It's the Catholic kookery. It's all the Christian-controlled op talking points. It's now this distraction, discrediting with Charlie Kirk shit. Rabbi talks about anti-Semitism some more. Let's see this new clip.
What do you think meaningful government action would look like now? What would you hope that the government would do now? And one can't undo what's been done, of course. But what do you?
Yeah, I saw the link you posted. Jimmy Dore is an idiot. He's a boomer idiot. He was trying to frame. He's like, even Tucker Carlson confirmed the Egyptian planes. Who gives a fuck what Tucker confirms? Tucker thinks demons are attacking him in his sleep, and that evolution is a satanic lie hiding Yahweh from you. Jimmy Dore trying to frame anybody that doesn't agree with Candace as FBI mockingbird media. He's a retard. He's a Russia shill retard.
Hoping for.
I think that's been an attempt to defang the anti-Israel, anti-Zionist movement of its anti-Semitism. I think that's been a recognition that it is present amongst some of its followers. Stop gaslighting us that this doesn't mean this and that doesn't mean that. Some of your listeners may be familiar with the term pilpul, excruciating rabbinic casuistics to try and resolve contradictions in rabbinic texts, as opposed to just saying maybe they disagree. There's a lot of pilpul going on. Intifada means this, it doesn't mean that. It's nonsense. It's mendacious nonsense.
The only people that give the rabbis a run for their money with the pilpul is the Christian copers and liars. Whole lot of pilpul-like arguments from the Christian apologists. Christian apologists are like just professional liars. Christianity is a lie. The only way to defend a lie is with more lies. So they're gaslighting pathological liars.
A recognition that there is violent intent and violent action. They are connected. And we're going to stop pretending. And people shouldn't be allowed to say things or have certain placards or march in certain areas. Rabbi Soloveitchik said that one of the effects of the creation state of Israel was Jewish blood is not cheap. That's not looking so sturdy these days from a Israel point of view. But the government here needs to make clear that Jewish blood is not cheap. I don't mean extracting revenge. I mean we're not going to shrug it off. We're going to accept there was a causal path, and we're going to tackle that causal path.
This gets us very quickly into very deep waters, because of course the Zionist contention, if you like, Jewish blood is not cheap is one way to phrase that, but the Zionist contention that the problem of
these guys think they're so fucking smart. They're like, oh, our Ashkenazi IQs, we're getting into deep waters here. Oh, let's talk about the Goyim Pilpul. Oh.
Cannot necessarily be solved, but what can be solved is the Jewish response to it. And one legitimate Jewish response would be to reclaim political sovereignty and to form a Jewish army with Jewish guns in the hands of its soldiers to defend Jewish life. And
yeah, we get it. You're at war with the Goyim. Like, they act like they don't have an army. IDF, heard of it? World Jewry and the endless orgs that you have. They always play this game like, oh, we can't be silent. We must speak out. Like they're not, like when have they ever been silent?
In that respect, Israel has, in fact, made Jewish blood less cheap.
Oh, my God. Our chosen Jewish blood.
Anymore. Where if you control the media, as it then... We're not in 1990 anymore. Where if you control the media, as it then existed...
Yes, it's me, Sarah. Thank you so much. I did get the gift box. Thank you so much. That was amazing. My wife loved it. The kids really loved it. I love those like wafer things. Are so good with my coffee.
Smashing the goal.
Thank you, Dirty Rick.
Emoji.
Yes, I was planning on doing a thank you letter back to you. It's a me, Sarah. I was planning on getting you a letter today. Yes, I got it. It was amazing. The kids loved it so much. Really appreciate it. That was very kind of you. Only Christmas present I got this year from in the P.O. box.
You basically control what people have access to. I do think there's an issue and a problem that we...
What do you mean, wretched goy? Neither of them are Jewish, by the way. What are they then? They're white? I don't know if you're new around here, wretched goy, but we don't do the not real Jews shtick.
Face that you could stop every march, which I don't want to do as that happens, but if you did, if you confiscated every Globalize the Intifada poster,
they're Jews.
You could still sit.
LARPers. Oh, they're just LARPing as Jews. What are they? Are they secretly Khazarians? Is this a Khazarian conspiracy, wretched goy? Are they secret Satan worshippers pretending to be Jews? Come on, tell us your kooky theory.
Endless amounts of the most vitriolic anti-Israel and anti-Semitic material, and be radicalized by that and be motivated by that. And short of having a Chinese-style system which you shut down and cut off access to the internet, it's not at all clear how you deal with access to that material. That's a problem to which I don't know a solution, but at least we have to be aware of the problem. We're not in 1990.
Yeah. I hate it. We're always trying to expose Jews, and then these people will come in, oh, they're not even Jews, actually, though. The real conspiracy is that they're not Jews. There's nothing wrong with Jews. It's only the fake Jews. Come on. We've heard this stupid shit before. Okay, now here's the best clip from these guys. He says that anti-Semitism is like a psychic animal spirit, like Esau, the animalistic hunter, let loose. And that's what anti-Semitism is. It's just evil Esau animalistic.
Some kind of psychic animal spirit was let loose here.
These cattle animalistic goys. Oh, they're actually Frankist Freemason reptilians, right? Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so some kind of psychic animal spirit was let loose here.
Say more.
Meaning that there is some kind of attitude toward the Jews among the anti-Semites was let loose and made, you could say, a permission was granted to express these ideas. And that wasn't going to be instantly put back away.
What do these goy think that they're able to express their ideas? Oh, how dare these goy thinks they can have opinions and express their opinions? How dare they? What gave them the right to have permission to express their ideas? Liam
Jarrett sent $5 on Rumble. My spirit animal is anti-Semitic.
Yeah, what animal would that be? What's the most anti-Semitic animal?
It's actually a very impressive civic achievement that takes a long time to quiet those attitudes, and to make clear that they're out of bounds in polite liberal society. And once they're let out
of bounds,
you can't. They don't go back away.
The eagle. There you go, Edom Warlord. The eagle is the most anti-Semitic. Yeah, according to their lore.
I'll give you an interesting case study of that.
A warthog. The pig. Yeah, pig. Pretty anti-Jewish. Pretty unkosher. Those pigs.
The neo-Nazis who stood outside Parliament House. Give you an interesting case.
Hive Tyrant says the most anti-Semitic animal is a cat because it kills rats. That is disavow. That is hey cool, chat.
The anti-Semitic remarks.
We're not gonna have any of that around here, okay?
Even
if it was clever.
The neo-Nazis who stood outside Parliament House 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Shabbat afternoon had a banner, "End the Jewish lobby." Where's that phrase from? It's actually not from the right, it's from the left. Bob Carr.
You can't oppose our lobbies. Only leftists oppose Jewish lobbies.
South Wales, who was very friendly to the Jewish community when he was premier and has become a very vocal critic of Israel, then started talking about the Jewish lobby and the supposedly pernicious influence of the Jewish lobby. So he introduced this phrase or this preoccupation with the Jewish lobby from the left, and then the right, also anti-Semites, picked it up and then they used it on their banner. So
anti-Semites are only picking up what the left says about Israel. Come on, dude. These guys are just clueless.
These ideas have gained entry into discourse from both the right and the left. On the left, the whole settler-colonialist tropes are coming out. The genocide trope. The idea that you can't disagree with a military campaign.
Jews claiming that saying everything is genocide is a trope is very, very rich. No humor lost on that. The Jews who are always like, oh, in every generation, the goy want to genocide us. And, oh, another show is about to happen. And the Holocaust, it could happen here. And I don't feel safe anymore. And, oh, you want to genocide us every time? And they go, oh, but if you say it about us, it's a trope. Only you genocide us. That's the way that God made the laws.
And you can't disagree with other policies, restrictions.
The Raven, Odin's Raven might be pretty anti-Semitic.
Oh, great, Odin's Raven.
That's another one.
On aid, without saying it's a genocide. That is so crude and irresponsible. You can disagree with all sorts of things, but there was an immediate and permanent jump to this is genocide.
Mm-hmm.
When even the international courts haven't concluded that's the case.
Yes, they have. They have concluded that. They have ruled that. And you go, we don't care. I love how they'll go, even the courts haven't said that. You don't care what the courts say. The courts pass resolutions, the ICC and the Human Rights Council at the UN, they condemn you and you say, we don't care what you say, you're anti-Semitic. We're going to make America pull out and sanction you.
But it becomes a accepted fact on the left. I also think that the right is now being given permission by people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, let alone Nick Fuentes. There is a mobilization of a new...
Thank you, Tucker Carlson and Candace and Nick, for giving me permission to notice what Jews are doing. I would have never said anything if it weren't for Tucker Carlson and Candace speaking out.
New sort of anti-Semitism.
Hey, Android box, keep spamming that and you're going to be blocked, okay? Stop kvetching. You stupid Americans gave them the power. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm responsible for everything every American has ever done.
On the right, sort of Christian nationalist anti-Semitism, which is now barely disguised. And there is the merest hat tip to trying to make this about Israel. The way these people and other people talk is very clearly, to anybody who's paying any attention, about Jews and draws on all of the old tropes about Jews. And that's a shift on the left and the right.
All the tropes.
And I don't think it's at all clear how that genie gets put back in the bottle.
Put the genie back in the bottle, please. Censorship. Josh Hammer wants to have anyone labeled an anti-Semite by him and Israel First should be involuntarily locked up in mental asylums. He really does say this too.
I mean, He's like, the Goyim are
the shit that
Europeans have Jew hate in their DNA.
I mean, Candace Owens, the shit that comes out of her mouth. I mean, this book that she's waving around, The Talmudic Jew, was written by a bunch of Nazi sympathizers.
Well, actually, that's not right. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Race science genesis. Okay, I mean the predecessors to the Nazis.
No, it was written by a guy in the 1870s named August.
Yes, it was the intellectual predecessor to Margaret Sanger and the eugenists, who themselves were intellectual predecessors to the Nazis.
August,
so yes,
and what's interesting about him is that he was exposed.
They all sound the same.
In his own time, he was exposed by the Catholic Church and by the Emperor of Austria. So he was a discredited anti-Semite at a time when it was very difficult to be discredited as an anti-Semite. No. I did some research, I tweeted about it. It got like 1.5 million views already. So anybody can check that out. But go ahead.
Oh, huge W.
Yeah, again, so I mean, it's difficult to know where to begin with this person. I mean, in a just society, she'd be in a mental ward right now. She would have been in a mental ward a while ago. I personally am a big proponent to bringing back the involuntary commitment laws of the 1960s. In my view, she should be involuntarily committed to a mental asylum.
Not beating the accusations there, dude. Hey, we should just like lock up people that criticize Jews. Great idea, huh? Yeah, totally. Totally. Look at Adam King says, maybe you can get a job in one of those asylums. I heard you were looking for work. Okay, he says
Candace
that to this guy, though. Okay, here's some of the copes we've been seeing around Christmas. Like this stupid talking point that everybody gets from Case for Christ, Lee Strobel's a Christian apologist book that is straight hot garbage, total trash and lies and propaganda. They go, there's 25,000 manuscripts proving Jesus is real. Most documented person of all time. All the scholars agree. We have no original manuscripts. We don't even have small, tiny little fragments the size of a credit card until like 200 years after Jesus, the first generation of Christians. We have no complete manuscripts until 4th century. It's like saying here, I'll just play the video and then it's short. These stupid TikTok edits that the Christians just love, they think is so good. Look, 27,000 likes. Primary source manuscript, right? Yeah, there's like 50,000 copies of Batman, so Batman's real. Look. 10 manuscripts, 12 manuscripts. 250 manuscripts prove his existence. The evidence for all of these people is so much better than the type of evidence we have for Jesus. They just make stuff up. They lie about everything. 25,000 manuscripts proving Jesus is real. These are all from hundreds of years later. They're copies of copies of copies, hundreds of years later. And they go, it's proof, it's real. 27,000 likes. That's how stupid this is. They don't care. They don't care about the full context. They don't care about when those manuscripts were written or copied. All they do is lie. Christianity is just a bunch of people lying to each other. So there's one. They lie like they breathe. Here's another one. Watch this. 7,000 likes. They're talking about Josephus. I've covered this one before, but it's more so this guy's comments that are so wrong. So we're going to go through it.
Look at this. This is written in 9.
Yeah, and thank you, Panteri. It makes them feel good, and they don't have to think, and it reinforces their insecurities. So true. Christianity proves that psychological operations work. Yeah, very true.
Look at this. This is written in 91 AD. At the same time, there appeared in Judea an extraordinary person called Jesus, if it be lawful to call him a man. He was a famous worker of miracles, a teacher of those who were desirous of receiving the truth in simplicity, and brought over to him many disciples, both Jews and Gentiles. This was the Christ, whom Pilate, as the accusation of the princes and the great men of the nation, delivered up to the ignominious punishment of the cross, notwithstanding which those who first loved him did not forsake him. He appeared to them alive again the third day after his crucifixion, which numbers with numberless other wonders concerning him. And thence to this day there is a set of people who bear the name of Christian, as owning him for their head, Lord, and Master.
My. This is a historical, documented witness.
Witness? No, he's not a witness. Josephus was born after Jesus supposedly died. He was not a witness. Josephus didn't even write this either. It's a total interpolation, not a partial, a total. We know this because nobody else cited this until Eusebius in the 4th century. And Eusebius got his copy of Josephus from Origen's library, and Origen specifically said Josephus makes no mention of our Lord. It doesn't fit in the section. It flows more smoothly without this little part put in. This is not the style or the thing that Josephus would have ever wrote. It is a fake. It is a Christian forgery, a fraud, a lie. But even if it were true, it's still not proof of Jesus, that Jesus existed, because this is written in the 90s AD, after the Gospels were written and after Christianity was already spreading. Josephus doesn't say he knew a guy that saw Jesus and he saw the records and knew it was true. He's just saying Christians exist and they believe this about this person. But these Christians go, look, Adam doesn't believe Jesus is real? Well, Josephus. What about Josephus? As if I haven't explained Josephus a million times. Josephus, even Bart Ehrman says Josephus is not proof of a historical Jesus.
That Jesus Christ was real?
No, it's not a witness that he was real. It's a witness that Christians believed in this figure. They're so desperate, and they're such liars.
Documented witness that Jesus Christ was real, he was legitimate, and we bear record of him here in this historical narrative. From 91 AD.
Yes, sir.
This is 20 years after the fall of Jerusalem.
This man was not a Christian. He was very anti-Christian.
He didn't say anything about Christianity. He was not anti-Christian. He makes no mentions of Christian. He had no knowledge or awareness of Christians. You know who else didn't? Pliny the Younger. Pliny the Younger, who his dad, or his, uncle, Pliny the Elder, was right there, highest level of Rome's government, and even he knew nothing about Christianity. He's like, who are these Christians? He wrote a letter to Trajan, the emperor. Who are these Christians? What do we do with them? I love how these guys don't say anything about, well, scholars do debate if this is authentic. And most scholars, even Christian scholars will say, Christian apologist scholars will say, well, a lot of this has obviously been tampered with, but we think there's some core mention of Jesus here. It's all fake. They're just coping liars. They don't even tell you about how disputed this is and that it's obviously been tampered with.
Parisia Times sent $5 on Rumble.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for an awesome 2025, brother. Here's to an even better 2026.
We're only getting started.
Red heart emoji.
We had the 10-year anniversary of No More News was in July this year. Actually, 2014 is technically when I started it, so it's been 11 years. But yeah, the next decade is going to be, we're really going to get rolling. They're such liars. They just go, this is definitive proof Jesus was real. They don't tell you that it's highly disputed, that it's a interpolation, that it's a forgery, that they tampered and meddled with it. Christians lying because the great Josephus made no mention. They had to add it in. No mention that this is after Gospels and Christianity was already spreading. No mention that Josephus was not an eyewitness and was born after Jesus supposedly died. No mention of that. They get up here and just gaslight and lie.
He was very pro-Rome and pro-Sanhedrin.
And look at what this guy says. By the way, 7,000 likes. A Jewish priest historian, scholars widely agree the core passage is authentic. Notice he says core passage because it has been meddled with. And no, scholars agreeing on things means biased Christians agreeing on things, because most biblical scholars are Christians, and they always have been. Biblical scholarship, the field of biblical studies, is Christian apologetics masquerading as secular studies. Later, Christian embellished, so they admit that Christians embellished here. If they embellished some of it, they would have embellished all of it. And then the accepted core affirms Jesus existed. No, it doesn't. It affirms Christians believed in this figure. He was a teacher. He was executed. Yeah, that's because that's what the Gospels and Christians would have said. And his followers did not abandon him after his faith. So it just reiterates the gospel story, and then you want to say this is proof. This is not an independent attestation. This is not an eyewitness. He says, hostile, independent Jewish source confirming the basic gospel outline without relying on the New Testament at all. How are you going to argue that this isn't based on the New Testament? This is a bald-faced lie that this is not relying on the New Testament. How do you know it's not relying on the New Testament? This isn't theology, it's history. Christians are pathological liars. Look, Amalek says, look, another lying Christian. You stupid freaks have no shame. He has a 23-minute section in Nailed, a chapter that goes over Josephus. Carrier's books debunk the Josephus proof. And then these Christians will go, oh, Adam doesn't even know. Do your research. What's the best proof about Jesus? They'll go, Josephus. And they don't even, they Googled it. They chat GPT'd it and said Josephus, and that's the extent of their research. So, lying Christians, lying as usual. Lying, of course, all the lying Christians coping about claiming Jesus was white, like this gifts ungiven girl. Isn't it funny that Joanna, that fake Christian Viking girl Joanna, that the account was started in Israel and got exposed as using a fake picture? For years was promoting Jesus was white. For years was promoting that Europeans were really Israelites. Gets exposed as a created in Israel Hasbara account. And Gifts is promoting this same kosher disinfo slop. Jesus was not brown. He was described by Pilate as having golden colored hair. You have been corrected on this so many times that this is a hoax and a forgery. The Pilate report is not authentic. And you get community noted. Everybody in the space, all the replies, all the retweets calling you out saying this is fake. Hey, do you have any real evidence? You know, the fact that there's no description of Jesus's appearance anywhere in the New Testament is a big hint, a big giveaway that there was no human figure to have a description. She gets wrecked in the comments, wrecked in the community notes. Does she have any humility? Does she have any shame? Does she retract and say, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not real. No, this stupid, and it's, I shouldn't say stupid. We can't chalk this up as, oh, she's just stupid, or maybe she really believes it. No, she's deliberately lying about this. And then she goes, look, for you saying this is fake, it's not. Do your homework. We've done our homework, and we know that you're a lying bitch, a stupid lying bitch, Gifts, who won't come on the stream to debate this, just keep over and over again, keeps pumping out this kosher disinfo, keeping everybody on your white Jesus plantation. Even Christian apologists like Dan McClellan and Wes Huff are debunking this stupid source. She gets community noted. She gets everybody refuting her. Does she retract? Does she start peddling this garbage? Stop peddling the garbage? No, of course not. She just keeps doubling down and lying and then claiming we're all Jewish propagandists. Oh, and why are we commenting on this? Because this stupid post and all these coping Christians gets almost 8,000 likes. Full Variety had to present this as real in public means you're either a credulous midwit or a bad faith peddler of lies. And frankly, there's no dignified third option. It's a peddler of lies.
The Bible and Religion. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. Let's take a look at a video.
This is just the letter of Lentulus saying Jesus was blonde hair with blue eyes.
These three first-hand eyewitness accounts are entirely fake. There is no such thing as a first-hand eyewitness historical account of Jesus' appearance or of any second of Jesus' life.
There I was, the only white guy in Jerusalem. That's why Judas had to kiss Jesus too in this fake story. Now, none of this happened. He had to kiss Jesus because he didn't stand out with the rest of the Jews. It's so stupid too. Blonde hair, white skin, blue eyes. It's all adaptations, evolution that took tens of thousands of years from being in the ice in the Northwest. You look at any map and it's a gradient. Most Northwestern, you have blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. And the further down east and south you go, the more dark features you have. But I'm sure the Middle East just had all these white people running around. You are so stupid.
The earliest writings of any kind we have related to Jesus are Paul's writings, which come decades after his death and were written by someone who never met Jesus. So let's start with Publius Lentulus. This account comes from around 1460. It pops up in a few different places in Italy all of a sudden.
The same time and place as the fake shroud, which they're also all shroud posting. Dude, all these people have lies. Aryan Jesus lies. 25,000 manuscript lies. Josephus lies. Shroud of Turin lies. All of it's a lie, top to bottom. These Christians want to point at Jews and say, oh, you're the father of lies, the father of the devil. Jews lie about everything. Oh, you call us anti-Semitic, don't say we're right. Christians lie nonstop. They're just like Jews. They lie about everything.
Maxed Out Bear sent $10 on Rumble. Gotta add the anteater to the pantheon of anti-Semitic animals mentioned earlier for its resemblance to an unclipped tween.
Dang. Okay, an hour later, Maxed Out Bear. He was thinking real hard, like, what's the most anti-Semitic animal?
And it is related to no earlier account whatsoever. This was very clearly created in the mid to early 1400s around Italy. It is a forgery. So that brings us to the Pontius Pilate account, which comes from an 1879 pamphlet called A Correct Transcript of Pilate's Court by a Presbyterian minister from Missouri named William Dennis Mahan. And he claims to have gotten this from a text from the Vatican, but there is no such manuscript anywhere near the Vatican. He actually just ripped it off from a short story that was written in French and published in...
Never underestimate the capability of a Christian to lie. They're pathological liars. They're left with no choice. All they can do to defend a lie is to double down on the lies. And the way they go out of their way to create elaborate forgeries and scam everybody to promote their lies is absolutely despicable.
In the Revue de Paris in 1837, the story is called Pontius Pilate at Vienna. And when we look at this account, we see Jesus described as having golden hair and a celestial complexion. And then on the next page, the author describes Jesus's complexion and appearance as a stark contrast to the black beards and the tawny complexions of his hearers, those around him. And then 5 years later, in 1884, Mahan published another collection of fake text called the Archco volume, and one of the accounts in there is purported to come from Gamaliel, one of the Jewish authorities contemporary with Jesus. And you can see around the middle of the page, we again have this idea of the golden-haired Jesus, soft blue eyes, but here with a tawny complexion. And this is entirely made up. There are no texts of any kind whatsoever predating this publication by Mahan that support this. These are all fake, and they are all here to just support a straight-up white supremacist notion of Jesus as having blue eyes and blonde.
It's not even white supremacist, though, Dan. It's white people coping that they worship a Jew. That's what it is. It's not about being supremacist. It's coping that they worship a Jew, a swarthy fake Jew as God. Yeah, I like that. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. Good quote.
Hair and looking a lot more like an American or a European than someone from 1st century CE Judea or Galilee.
Looking like me. Wes Huff also chimed in and corrected, although apparently Dan had to correct him also because he got it wrong. But let's see. Wes Huff says this is the Acts of Pilate, earliest 4th century. So he's not even right about that. It's later than that. It's a lie. I thought I had my white Jesus. Where's my white Jesus picture? What's going on? Hold on. I'm all over the place. We're getting close to the end. Oh, hour and a half. We're doing good. Oh, actually, not really. We got lots of stuff to cover still. Dude, where am I? Oh, here we go. "3D images of Christ's face based on the Shroud of Turin, based on another forgery, 10,000 likes. Look, the real face of Jesus. Scientists and AI reconstruct the true face of Jesus. Look. See for yourselves. Come right up, ladies and gentlemen. Your magical Jew right here." The real recreation of Jesus. Looks like Ari Shafir. If Jesus existed, he was not white. Little AI white Jesus action there. There he is. Behold, the face of thy Lord. Dude, do your homework, man. Pontius Pilate said he had blonde hair and blue eyes and was like total Aryan Chad, man. Dude, Jesus is like whatever I like, dude. Jesus is like...
Picture Jesus in a tuxedo T-shirt because it says like, I want to be formal, but I'm here to party too. Because I like to party, so I like my Jesus to party.
Yeah, I want my Jesus to look like Thor, like coming down with a big old hammer out of Ragnarok. Just bashing on the Pharisees, man. Meanwhile, what do actual Christians say about Jesus?
I want to tell you the blood of Jesus is so precious because he is a Jew.
Yes.
The blood of Jesus is so precious because that
precious
blood was
Jewish
blessed
blood of
in
Jesus.
Abraham. Listen to Pastor Manning. The blood of Jesus is precious because he's a Jew, not because he's a white man.
Ooh. Preach.
The blood of a white man won't get you anywhere.
That's right.
The blood of the Caucasian, the blood of the people up in, and if you will, Finland and Sweden and Switzerland,
only that magical Jewish
Europe,
blood.
Russia, and in England, Norway, Poland, the blood of the white man will get you nowhere.
Thank you, Pastor.
The blood of a white man, a Caucasian man, a Japheth man will get you nowhere. The magnificence of God.
I love how this black pastor has the same arguments as Corey Mailer. Japheth, that Japheth white man blood. Yeah, thank you, Liam. Jewish blood actually isn't cheap. It's very precious. Dude, these guys are not even kidding. Look at this. This guy, 5,000 likes. Yo, an image of what Jesus looks like. Yo, this is what my Jesus looks like in my dream. Dude, how many of these people are just gay for Jesus? They're all closeted gays praying the gay away with Jesus. They want to become the bride on their knees with Jesus coming inside of them. 5,000 likes. Can't believe these people, dude. It is just so retarded. close up a few of these. We're getting into some Shroud maxing. Christians will lie about anything. So here we have 5,000 likes. The Shroud of Turin remains one of those things that's been proven to be from the time of Christ by modern science. Wrong. Lie. But older, flawed studies are clung to by atheists because the facts are inconvenient to their apostasy. Dude, I can't stand these Christian liars, dude. They took a sample in the 80s of the Shroud and sent it to 3 different radiocarbon dating labs, and they all said it's 500 years old. And the Christian cope is, oh, they took a sample from a part of the Shroud that was repaired because of the fire. Okay, well, give us a new sample from the original Shroud. Oh, why has the Vatican not done that? Because it's bullshit, and the original Shroud would be 500 years old too. So instead, they roll out this new modern science study, supposedly, that is a untraditional, not methodologically sound, God, stumbling all over my words today, way of measuring. So they go X-ray scattering. They use an X-ray to take a picture of how much the thread of the Shroud has unraveled. And then they type in some variables, and lo and behold, they say it's 2,000 years old. It has not been replicated. It's not the traditional way of dating anything. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit study they gave out as to throw a bone to the Christians so they can pretend like it's real. Okay, where's the other study that's also confirmed that this is real? Why won't the Vatican give an original piece of the Shroud to be radiocarbon dated again? Because it's bullshit. And I've heard actually the piece of the Shroud that they used to do this other study with, which you can't even call it a study. This is X-ray scattering is not how you measure the date of something, because the fraying is completely dependent on all types of variables like the humidity and how it was stored and sunlight and all of these different factors. So they just changed up the equation in the variables to get it to say it's 2,000 years old. That's how bullshit it is. And they just get up here and lie and say, oh, it's been proven. Yeah, when the fake study says it's 2,000 years old, then it's real science. But when it says it's not, they have all these copes. This is what the Shroud would have looked like if it was wrapped around this head. So we've done some Shroud videos in this last year. There's YouTube videos. You can look up how was the Shroud created. And people have their ideas of how it could have been done. Low relief. There's this other thing with like a light, sunlight, and a mirror lens on a thing. There's ways it could be done, and these people just get up here and lie. They go, oh, this kook with the bad hairline on Tucker Carlson and Glenn Beck says it's impossible, and there were 6 gazillion joules required for in one instant for the light to come. They're just such fucking liars, dude. This is all lies. But hey, 5,000 likes. Atheists proving me right. Yeah. The recent study is a bogus method relying on unchanging temperature and humidity for 1,000 years to be accurate. That's obviously impossible. Christians are insufferable liars. The Shroud of Turin. Oh, you know what else? Is we have 2 accounts. The first 2 accounts of Catholics that wrote about the Shroud both said it was forgeries. Both said it was a fraud. Yeah, it's the fraud of Turin is what it is. But hey, these Christians will lie about anything, so why not? And what is their response when we go, no, the Shroud is actual bullshit. The Shroud is fake. You're desperate. Like this Catholic, Timothy Gordon, this Catholic influencer, he goes, look at how I ratioed him. I didn't even retweet it either. 174 to 79. He goes, look, Pilot AD, the Shroud. Grok says the Shroud is real. Skeptics are coping. I said, you're desperate. His response, he says, you're a Jew.
$5. Do you think Jesus played basketball? The guy on the Shroud is around 7 feet tall.
Is it? I heard he was like, they're claiming he's 6'1" or something.
Jesus Bryce sent $5. Could you play that Evan Williams Gay for Jesus AI music video on the outro? That was
I
gold.
don't know. I don't have that right now. So this Christ cuck, this Jew worshiper, Tim Gordon, who's some YouTube influencer, I say the shroud is fake, and his response is, "You're a Jew." All they do is lie and cope. And it's funny because he wants to say, "Oh, you're a Jew." He says, "Oh, your name is Greenberg." No, you added a berg to my name. It's not Greenberg. Only 1 in 20 greens is Ashkenazi. My DNA results are out there. Posted them over the years many times, you lying fraud Christian. All they have is they're such coping liars. It's so despicable. The low IQ anti-Semitism. Hey, Tim Gordon, you lying faggot. Here's my... Thank you, Liam.
Liam Jarrett sent $5 on Rumble.
Right.
Wasn't it a Jew who was the original one pushing the shroud?
Yes, Liam, exactly. The biggest promoter that the shroud is real is an Orthodox Jew. You worship the King of the Jews. Your Pope says inside every Christian is a Jew and anti-Semitism is a sin and wears a small hat. But yeah, you want to call me Jewish because I don't believe in your magical rabbi. Here's for all the lying Christians. Here's my ancestry DNA, 100% Northwest European. Cope on that. 0 Ashkenazi, 0 Jewish, 100% Northwestern European Viking blood, forged in ice. Cope and seethe, you lying Christians. And this is the only response these idiots ever have. Oh, Greenberg. Oh, guess what? This guy's name is Gordon. Gordon is a Jewish last name. And imagine calling me Jewish when your nose looks like this. This is so funny. Think for yourself, said Grok. Evaluate the ethnicity of these two men. And I don't know if he's really Jewish or not. I'm just pointing out, like, when you have a beak like this and your name is Gordon, maybe, and you worship a Jew, maybe your first response shouldn't be to lie and call me Jewish like these Christians all do. Because they're pathological liars with no shame. But he asked Grok, evaluate these two men and decide which one is Jewish. And Grok straight up said, the guy on the right looks Jewish. And, he went silence after this too. Want to call me Greenberg? How come Chabad.org says Gordon is a Jewish last name and you got a big pointy hook Jewish nose and worship a Jew? This guy's such a cuck. He got mogged by Jay Dyer in a debate also. Their stupid, cringe Trinity debate in Church Fathers, Catholic versus Orthodox debate. Dude, he got blown out and mogged so hard. It's so funny. What a stupid cuck. And then he's like, his responses were, he seethed so hard. I go, oh, you're desperate. The shroud is fake. He seethes. He's like, Jew. And then he's like, you look like Nickelback. And then he's like, you're skinny. Skinny? Hey, Tim, I don't know if you've heard, but I'm basically a Viking giant. I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. And your own on me is to say I'm skinny? With his Gordon Jewish last name. Where is the response here? Oh, maybe it's here. Here it is. The man on the right as the man on the left. The man on the left resembles a Europeanized depiction, not typical of Jews. Okay, there was another response, I thought. Here it is. Based on the image, the man on the left, me, appears to have Northern European features, blonde hair and blue eyes. The guy on the right has Mediterranean features. The guy on the left, Adam Green, has 0 Ashkenazi Jewish. Timothy Gordon has a surname often linked to Jewish origins. The one on the right, if he had to guess, Grok. Hey, if we're citing Grok, since you wanted to cite Grok, I did. This is, I say it all the time, that all these Christians have is lying copes. I mean it. This is all they ever do. This isn't some Anon e-crusader. This guy has like a big following on YouTube, and that's all he can say. Can't debate. No arguments. Just, oh, and the guy calling me the spiritual Jew that thinks he's the new Israel and is worshiping the king of the Jews, and a rabbi calling me Jewish as the first response. Dude, take the L's.
Look, Israel is the church, my dog, my guy.
My dog. Hey, we're actually, my dog, we're the real Jews. We're the spiritual Jews. Tim's show is the most boring on the internet. I never watched it. How many subs does he have on YouTube?
Israel is the church, my dog, my guy. Israel's the church, and it was always meant to be. That's the whole reason that Christ comes from the tribes. Is it not? I mean, the parting shot. Christ comes from the tribes.
Right.
The Jewish tribes?
The church. Because Israel is the church.
Yeah, and then ultimately, as I mentioned before, we should desire their conversion. We want them in the church. We want them to come, because then the graces flow, and then of course, but we
want the. Did he just say we want the Jews in the church because the graces flow?
In the church, we want them to come, because then the graces flow, and then of course, but they will. St. Paul says, well, in the end, they'll convert.
Mm-hmm. Oh, amen. We're praying for the day all the Jews worship the Messiah that's meant to conquer the Goyim in the world. We can only pray. They're so embarrassing. Do you see how pathetic this is? This is our opposition. Pathetic, lying copers that want to be the true Israel.
Yeah, that's the constant teaching of the fathers. Like Father Ripperger said, it's in St. Paul, St. Thomas, and all of the great fathers throughout our church's history say that at the end, the Jews will convert. There will be a conversion of the Jews, very similar to what happens in the book of Genesis, where Joseph the patriarch was sent among the Egyptians, and his brothers did not recognize him, and then later they recognized him, and there's this great salvation and joy that takes place. So we pray and look forward to that day, and pray for
the day when we can all be, when the Jews believe in the Moshiach, and we can all pray to Yahweh together. We pray for that day. And I'm like, hey, the shroud's actually fake. And he's like, Jew, you Jew. Very Christian, very on brand. You pussy bitch, Tim Gordon.
The conversion of all the Jews.
Oh, we just want to convert the Jews, man. Our whole goal is just to. Hey, dog, we just gotta we're the true Israel. We gotta convert the Jews, man. Tucker with the usual kooky Christian conspiracies. Oh, they're actually not Jews, and actually it's just the Talmud and not the Torah.
How does any ethnic group have a, quote, right to a country? Where does that right emanate from? Does it emanate from Holy Scripture? Okay, which ones do you believe in and which ones? And then we can ask real questions.
Good point. That should be the only thing.
Are the current occupants of Israel related to the people that I read about in, say, Deuteronomy? Are they genetically the same? Well, yes. We can test for that, actually. How about 23?
And they have.
In Israel. How weird.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Is it the same religion? I was told this was Talmudic Judaism, which was created.
I was told.
From the temple. So just explain, since you brought it up, why don't you explain to me what the hell you're talking about? Because I don't understand it.
I don't understand. I was told. Are they the people of the Bible? Oh, no, the people of the Bible are good. These are Ashkenazi Khazarians, actually. It's the Talmud, not the Torah. Dude, it's so stupid. They had the oral law before the Talmud was written down, number one. This whole cope that Judaism's younger than Christianity because the Talmud now is just fucking such a stupid argument. This whole, DNA tests are banned in Israel. You don't think there's Jews in America that have gotten their DNA test and it says Ashkenazi on it? You don't think the Jews have enough influence that they could just say, hey, test our DNA and say that it's from the Levant if they wanted to? They've been doing genetic testing on Jews and matching it with ancient Israel DNA and seeing how close it is with other Palestinians in the area for decades. Oh, they're not the real Jews of the Bible, but if they were, then God did give them the land. That's the takeaway from this argument. See Through It All says, once the Jews recognize their Messiah, then we win. Right. Now, Tucker Carlson, and also, this isn't even true, apparently. 23andMe does ship to Israel. They have some type of like regulations about something DNA testing. You don't think there's Jews around the world that have got DNA tests? You never seen a Jew online post their DNA test? Oh, it's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Oh, DNA tests are banned. That's because they're not really Jews. I can't handle this stupidity. He says Judaism was not created after the destruction of the temple. The religion that Jews were already practicing was simply written down. And it's just interpretation and commentary on the Torah. It's still believing it's Torah Judaism. Talmudic Judaism is still Torah Judaism. This is the kook that says he's attacked by demons in his bed and that evolution is a satanic lie to hide the truth about God. Dude, we can't have Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan and Candace Owens being the leading intellectuals on the right, or we are cooked. Thank you. Watch the Collapse.
Watch the Collapse podcast. Sent $5 on Rumble. We want Gorshiok now.
Ban DNA tests. It's just so stupid. As if Ashkenazi Jews aren't elsewhere in the world that have taken DNA tests. I can't get it. And I hear this over and over and over again. There's like, add it to the meme. Add it to the Christian Copes meme. Yeah, and also 23andMe is ran by Jews, so as if they couldn't change it. Okay, so what's the conspiracy? Oh, if they take tests, it's all going to say that they didn't come from the Middle East at all. Like they can't change that and go, hey, match up this blood that's totally Khazarian and say it's from Israel. Like they couldn't do that.
Calling me a Nazi because I asked, talking about. So you tell me what you're talking about. This is the Israel
1776 Thesequel sent $5 on Rumble. The J1 and J2 haplogroups are from the Levant. This is common knowledge of anyone with a toddler's understanding of DNA.
I know. I've seen the graphs. I've seen the studies. Ashkenazi Jews share a lot of core DNA with Sephardic Jews and with people still there in the region, and matching with ancient Israelite bones that they found in the area. What's this weird? They're not real. Hey, let's. The conspiracy should be, hey, let's focus on this Torah, Moshiach, Yahweh, Jewish agenda. No, it's actually they don't believe in Yahweh, and they're not even really Jews, and they don't even believe the Torah. It's the Talmud, and they're secretly worshiping Moloch, and they're really Khazarians. It's all just to keep people off the path. It's just keeping people missing the mark from what's really going on. Reclaim Man says, I knew the Khazarian theory was BS after 5 minutes of looking into it. I could always tell. They go, oh, it's predicted in Revelation 3:9. It says they're Jews, but they're not. Well, that's Khazarians 1,000 years later, man. Dumbest, stupidest shit ever.
Violence.
If it is, what is it? You're like saying it's not the Israel of the Bible. You're like elevating the Israel of the Bible to some supernatural, magical, like holy thing. Jews living in that land doing Jewish stuff, like how much more they go, no, it's atheist and it's secular and it's Talmudic and it's not Israel. It's Jews in the same area trying to fulfill their prophecies and doing Jewish shit. Is that not, you want it to be more Jewish? What do they have to do for it to be the Israel of the Bible? Well, actually, we're the Israel now, so it can't be the Israel of the Bible? Like, it's just fucking retarded. It's not even real Israel. It's the stupidest, distracting argument ever. Do any of us give a fuck if it's the real Israel or not? Yeah, it's not Jewish enough. They go, actually, like half of the Jews in Israel, they have gay pride parades and it's secular and they're not Jewish enough for it to be the real Israel. So if they were all Jewish, then it would be like, oh, bow down, it's the real Israel. It's all incoherent.
I mean, how?
That no Jew has ever had a DNA test? It's so tiresome, so stupid. Watch the collapse. These arguments are so retarded. It's just like handing W's to the Jews on a silver platter. Yeah, I'm sure Netanyahu is very threatened by Tucker Carlson. Sure.
But it's the Christian pastors. When you ask a simple question.
Yeah, Jack says Tucker can't be that stupid. He's an agent knowingly pushing an agenda through lies and disinformation. Maybe it's an act and he's super smart, reading from a script and pretending to be dumb, but he also could just be dumb. He doesn't come off to me as very intelligent, honestly. And this is what's popular. This is what's, regurgitated everywhere on the internet. This is what his guests are saying. Need More Amalek says there's no evidence for their claim that 23andMe or DNA tests are banned in Israel. They basically are talking about data protection laws where Jewish DNA was targeted by hackers. I cover this claim in his new Need More Amalek starting a Substack that addresses all the Christian copes and all of this kosher anti-Semitism disinformation, and that's the first one is
Watch
Kazari.
the Collapse podcast, sent $5 on Rumble. How you know these people aren't truly red-pilled as any Og conspiracy guy saw Zeitgeist and read Jordan Maxwell and Ika in the mid-2000s and knows Jesus is fake and gay. Yeah. COVID woke me up, bro.
Yeah, COVID, man. Hey, I was the #1 host at Fox News and made a whole career working for, didn't he work for like the neocons at, what was that one neocon newspaper he worked for? I forget, but he worked for all the Zionists. MSNBC, Fox News, but now, and then this dumb guy act like, I'm just a normal guy. I'm going to go fishing and I'm living in a hunting lodge and I've got dogs and I'm just Americana and I got my chewing tobacco and, oh, golly me, I'm not a scholar, but let me be the #1 voice and authority on who Israel is. It's just all so retarded. Kosher anti-Semitism. Yeah, my demon dogs converted me, Noticer says. A true warrior for Christ. Yeah, he probably is CIA or Russian intelligence or something. Something shady with this dude for sure. If you're agreeing that like God spoke in the Bible, then you've already lost the plot. You've already lost the game. Trying to argue about who the true Israel is and if it's the Talmud or the Torah and DNA tests, you're just circling the wagons, and it's stupid. Stupid Tucker. Look, here's the 23andMe. What countries do you ship to? Israel is right there. Here's the genetic studies too. You can see Northern Europeans are over here and Jews are a completely different cluster right up next to the Middle Eastern. Ashkenazi Jews very closely linked with Sephardic Jews. Yeah, no, Amalek, I have seen stuff like this. There is some restrictions on DNA tests in Israel, but it's not, I don't think it's some conspiracy to cover up that they're not really from Israel. That's not what it is. There's some other explanation for it. And it's a moot point because there's Jews all over the world that have done DNA tests. They still say Ashkenazi. They still show on the map that it's right there in the Middle East. That's what it says. So what the fuck are they even talking about?
Celtic Bog Snorkeler sent $5. Adam, you look like a Scandinavian hunter-gatherer. Also, Happy New Year's Eve.
True. Thank you, Celtic. Yeah, it's like the Jews who are obsessed with their religion and circumcising their young and keeping kosher. Like, oh no, the real Jews just all died and forgot about that stuff and disappeared. And these new people just decided to be the most hated group in amongst Christian Europe 1,000 years ago or whatever. And they just started chopping off their kids' foreskins and not eating delicious bacon because reasons. The whole thing is just so incoherent. The Bible warns us the modern state of Israel is not the same. Oh, my Bible, 6,000 likes.
The modern day state, it's not a nation. The Bible warns us that Israel of today, I want you to understand this, is not Hebrew, nor of the sons of Jacob. I want to say it again. The modern day state, it's not a nation, of Israel, they are not Hebrew.
State, not a nation. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, it's not a nation. Actually, like talk about semantics. Oh, it's a state, but not a nation. Come on. And dude, these videos where it's just some guy talking and somebody like looking like, some guy talking on a podcast. Oh, it must be true.
Nation of Israel. They are not Hebrew. Neither are they the sons of Jacob. When you try to tell somebody this, it's like
there was no sons of Jacob also.
Like there's cognitive.
Hold on. Need More Amalek says Europe has similar laws. 23andMe just stores their data in Ireland to meet the regulations for data storage and security. Exactly. I told you there was another explanation. No, they're covering up that they're not actually Jews. Like, yeah, they're not Jews, guys. Problem solved. Dude, the Christian copers have been saying this shit, and Muslims. The Muslims love the Khazarian theories too. They've been saying this shit for decades. And where has it gotten us? Oh, is Netanyahu and Israel about to be ousted because they've been exposed as fake Jews? Or are they more powerful than ever? About to pull the rug on the West and throw us in prison for hate speech?
Of dissonance. They can't think through the statement of what you're saying. They automatically think that any person that joins the nation and becomes an Israeli is actually an Israelite of Old Testament, but that simply is not true. The Ashkenazis, they are not Hebrews. If you don't know what that is, I want you to look it up, and I want you to educate.
Look it up. Hey, look it up. Look at Veterans Today or whatever stupid blog says they're not really Jews. Yeah, Russians love to push the Kaz. Thank you, Jack Stone. That's a good point. Hold on, we'll read that in a second.
Watch the Collapse podcast sent $5 on Rumble. If Jews aren't Jews, then what happened to the real Jews from the Levant?
Oh, they went up to Europe, bro. We're the real Jews.
Ethnic ones. Such a moot point. They're still corrupt with power, so who cares?
Right. Exactly. It's not. It's just doing anything but addressing the root cause. Jack Stone also says the Russians love the Khazar theory too because it gives them the justification that Putin's conquering the Khazarian mafia in Ukraine. Like that's the narrative they run with. Yeah, Aztec Nazis. That's what they said.
The Ashkenazis, they are not Hebrews. If you don't know what that is, I want you to look it up, and I want you to
look it up. Educate
the
yourself.
Khazarians, they are not Hebrews at all.
Khazarians.
Look it up and educate yourself and understand that the majority of the people that live in the modern day state of Israel are actually Europeans.
Oh, it's actually Jews aren't the problem. It's white Europeans are the bad ones. Hey, the Torah and Jews isn't an issue. It's only the fake Israel and the fake Jews. I can't handle this stuff. It's so beyond retarded.
And they do not practice anything from the Bible. The majority of them are absolutely atheist.
See? Oh, they're atheist. Oh, they don't follow the Bible. Is that why we play clips every day of Jews quoting from the Bible? Where do you think the 613 mitzvahs come from? They're outlined in the Talmud, but they derive them from reading the Torah. Dude, you go on YouTube, every rabbi, it's like Torah learning, Torah this, Torah that. Oh, in the Torah, our patriarch this in the Torah, and this verse from the Torah. And then these idiots go, it's not Jews, it's the Talmud. Okay, I'm just repeating myself. You guys get the point, but it's just, this is why we lose. This is why we lose, because of these idiots 6,000 likes. Hey, Peggy Dotson agrees, though. 100%. And she's got almost as many followers as I do. Some Peggy Dodson. Let's learn about how demons are afraid of Christians, man. The Goy Slop pumped in the algorithm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. All the kosher disinfo. Everything's a conspiracy, but the Bible is made up and fake. And Jesus is a myth. No, everything's a conspiracy, but that.
Who know their identity are a horror flick in hell. Formulas do not work on demons. Identity is the only thing that overcomes a demon. You have to know who you are. You have to know you have power over demons. Then once you know who you are, demons don't have the power to scare you. Greater is he that is in us than he that.
You just gotta believe in the magical rabbi and the demons won't hurt you, okay? Like, talk about extortion. Talk about coercion and blackmail. My Bible says that, like, the magical demons won't attack you if you just, like, believe in Jesus. But coincidentally, it's all Christards that get attacked by demons.
Is in the world. And I think a lot of people view demons as the giant, and they know you are. Because you're a child of God. You're a co-heir with Christ.
Dude, demons are real, bro. Dude, this is the kosher slop, the conspiratainment that people are brainwashed into following.
People who know their identity are a horror flick in hell. Formulas do not work on demons.
Dude, Adam, you don't believe in the Jewish demons, bro? 5,000 likes. Leprechauns are afraid of fairies. Demons flooding the replies. Yeah. Yeah, are the demons in the room with us right now? E-Crusaders mogged again. Here's Dinesh D'Souza. They always want to, the eternal mogging, always rubbing it in their faces, and you're never going to overcome this. Some 2,000 years ago, a Jewish kid was born into a Jewish family. He was destined to save the world. Thanks to the Jews, we Christians can now say Christ is King of the Jews. We celebrate his birthday today. Owned. I'll probably cover this one tomorrow. Rabbi debunks what Candace says about the Talmud. I want to see this. 4,000 likes. It's just too easy. The stupid shit. They'll never criticize the Torah. Plenty of material there to criticize. They'll never do it. Instead, they reach and they grasp for straws and try to take things out of context and ignore all the real stuff in the Talmud and the Torah. But we'll cover that tomorrow. This is a little too long. It'll probably be the same ones that we've seen a million times. Nothing they hate more. That's why Zion Dawn is pushing spoon-feeding Jesus down everybody's throats.
The initiatives the White House has launched include America Prays, calling for Americans to dedicate at least an hour a week for prayer. Also establishing the White House Faith Office and Religious Liberty Commission, and creating a task force to eliminate bias against Christians.
So let's bring in Fox News contributor Raymond.
The initiatives the White House has launched include America Prays, calling for Americans to dedicate.
Pray to your Jewish God, Goy. Look here, Christians are just nothing but liars. Look at this reply again I just saw on See Through It All's post from yesterday. Fake quotes. Fake quote. Dude, Christians, I guess it makes sense that, like, falling for Christianity is a filter, that you already have to have, like, bad discernment. So it's just like, it's a litmus test. If you're going to fall for disinfo and you don't have discernment and you don't fact check things, a lot of people are going to collect under Christianity. Why is Christianity so popular? Because most people are stupid and gullible. That's why. The Jews are right. Gullible cattle, goyim slaves, sheep following the Jewish Messiah. The Jews were right. You win, Jews. Good job. You got all the gullible Goyim cattle following your Jewish Messiah and your Jewish God. Good job. You win.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Pope says that Jesus would identify with illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. Of course he would.
From the people like good old Nick and good old Carlson, it's come from one place, or maybe Candace. You're wondering where the hatred come from? From the people like good old Nick and good old Carlson, it's come from one place, or maybe Candace. From not knowing their Bible, not understanding the root, and not knowing the truth. So let me educate you today, and every Catholic out there who side with the Pope and every Christian. Because today, Christians, I am addressing you. And I tell you, stand for the real Yeshua. You want to celebrate Christmas? Great. Go to the world and tell them about the Jewish king. Here is what he said, not what the Pope said. In the book of Yohanan, he said, you Samaritan worship the things that you don't know. But we, Jews, and he equate to him as a Jew, know what we worship, for salvation come in from the Jews. Do you notice what Yeshua equates?
Hold on. I saw this. Devin Stack told you that it's a 2,000-year-old psyop, then the Jews are too smart anyway and we're going to lose no matter what. There's nothing smart about it. It's like an obvious parlor trick. They have prophecies and they wrote a story, a myth, fulfilling prophecies. It's not that they're smart. It's obvious what happened. It's just that the Goyim are so fucking stupid. And I didn't see it, but I heard somewhere else he was kind of mocking the idea of it being a 2,000-year-old psyop. It's a 2,000-year-old lie. And I think he knows that.
Himself too. He said, we, the Jews. I have a news for everybody today. He is Jewish. He wasn't just a Jewish, he's still Jewish, and he will always be Jewish. And how dare you to replace him today in a Palestinian image? That, friends, is the great sin when there is no forgiveness on. And I pray today that people go into their churches and sing Silent Night and sing Noel and sing all the wonderful hymn and carol of Christmas. I pray today, brothers and sisters, that all of us remember his Jewishness. He identifies as a Jew. And woe to those who equate him to the Palestinians. In the book of Yohanan, in the book of Matthew.
Okay, I can't handle anymore. We get the point.
All my Christian brothers and sisters, Merry Christmas. So there was a giant billboard in middle.
Oh, war on Christmas. They hate Christmas. Oh, he didn't say happy holidays.
Dude, Christians on Christmas are so fucking obnoxious. Always trying to flaunt their Jesus around and play victim and the reason for the season, and it's so obnoxious, so annoying. I'm not interested in your fake Jewish king worship.
Of Times Square last night that said, Merry Christmas from all us Islamists who want to kill you all, you Westerners. Jesus was a Palestinian. Okay, skip the first part. It did say Jesus was a Palestinian. Let's examine this for a moment.
That's also retarded.
Kennedy Jr., like most very educated Americans, had some issues with Israel when we first became very close friends. And we discussed it. And I said to him, you know, Bobby, you're a religious Catholic. And I so respect. He does Mass every morning. Of course, he's probably from the most famous American Catholic family in the country. But in a personal way, Bobby, the HHS secretary, is a very devout Catholic. I said, so you...
Oh, my God. Breaking news. So I had this. Candace is cosplaying as Sherlock Holmes. She just needs her pipe, her crack pipe, and her magnifying glass. Sherlock Candace Holmes is on the case. Look what somebody found. This hat, this Sherlock Holmes hat she's wearing, $138 for this stupid hat for her Sherlock Holmes cosplay. Unbelievable. You know, Candace held a space with all of her lapdogs last night. We're not getting into it. We're not playing any clips, so I just want to play this one thing. Candace says she gets one thing right, and it's what we're all thinking. It's right here.
I am really uneducated. I know I sound really uneducated. I know I sound really uneducated. I know I sound.
Exactly.
You read the New Testament every day. Now let's just go through what the Christian scripture says. Forget us lying Jews.
Yeah.
I didn't say that to Bobby. I'm saying that to all the Islamists who put up the Jesus is a Palestinian billboard. To all you who hate Jews, forget us lying Jews. You know that us Jews can't tell the truth. You know that, how do you know our lips are moving, we're lying, our lips are moving. I get written that every day. Let's focus on what the Christian Bible says, how we even know that Jesus exists. Because aside from one tiny little mention by the Roman historian Tacitus, which everyone agrees was interpolated, inserted 1,000 years later, there's no mention of Jesus anywhere. We only know Jesus existed because
he's got Tacitus mixed up with Josephus. There.
Because of the New Testament. So what does the New Testament say? It says there were 3 people in ancient Judea, which is the Roman province. It was directly controlled by Rome, and it was called Judea. Judea, Jew, like Jewville, okay? So the New Testament says there were 3 groups of people. There were Romans, they were the occupying military force, disgusting, barbaric, violent, aggressive murderers who imposed Roman rule over Judea. Then there were the Jews, the native people born in the land, lived there for 1,500 years before the Romans occupied it, through the Roman Emperor Pompey. And then you had a couple of Samaritans sprinkled here and there. That's why you get the story of the Good Samaritan. That's it. There's not one mention of an Arab, understandably. They are from Arabia. There's not one mention of someone French. They're from France. No mention of America, because that would come 1,800 years later. The mention, of course, is Jews. So when you say that Jesus was a Palestinian, what you're basically saying is Jesus never existed. Because once you
See, that's the other thing. You got the idiot Christian identity saying Jesus was white. You've got the stupid leftists and Muslims saying Jesus was a Palestinian. And they're both wrong. They're both coping that Jesus is a Jew. And worst of all, a fake Jew. It's not a fake Jew like that. A mythical figure.
The only real source for the existence of Jesus, which is the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the epistles of St. Paul, then Jesus just disappears into a poof of smoke. So, those who say Jesus is Palestinian, aside from being obviously absurd, ridiculous, they actually are insulting not us Jews. They're not trying to deny that Jesus was Jewish.
It's so stupid because it wasn't even named Palestine until after Jesus' time by the Romans.
They are saying Jesus never existed. The real statement in Times Square last night that Jesus is a Palestinian is that Jesus is the Tooth Fairy. Jesus is Paul Bunyan. Jesus is one of the Jetsons. He's a cartoon character invented by, some American
fake Jew. I wonder if he knows.
And that's why my Christian brothers and sisters should really have some level of disgust and some level of
Jesus is so obviously like a mythical midrashic construction that the fact that the Talmud isn't exposing that it's a myth, the fact that rabbis and Jews everywhere aren't saying, oh, this is clearly a midrashic, mystical, heavenly mediator Melchizedek figure, the fact that they're not saying that everywhere makes me think that they know and they're just not telling you. They're keeping it a secret. That's my suspicion.
Outrage that Palestinians are trying to not co-opt Jesus as a Palestinian, a term that would only come into existence 2,000 years later, but they're saying that he simply did not exist. So
that's not what they're saying.
Jesus was a Jew. He died on the cross, which was a political punishment by the Romans. For anyone who went against Roman rule. If you declared yourself to be the king of the Jews, which Jesus did, because he thought he was the Messiah is a mortal man who's anointed. That's all Messiah means. Mashiach, Christ, Christos, it means, in Greek it means anointed. In Hebrew it means anointed.
Means Moshiach.
King of the Jews, he was obviously put to death by Pontius Pilate on the orders of Emperor Tiberius. In about the year 33, we don't know exactly. And that's the real story. Merry Christmas to my Christian brothers and sisters. God bless.
Not the real story. I love how they try to scapegoat Rome for it. And that's what Bart Ehrman says. He goes, oh, it wasn't the Jews, it was Rome that did it. He was a Jew that was anti-Roman that never claimed to be God. Complete Noahide compliant Jesus is what they describe.
Or Canada maybe for what they are.
We cannot know right or wrong without Jews to tell us what is right and wrong. We have no morals without rabbi.
And maybe if we just started going back to our faith and our roots, maybe we would be able to say, wait a second, this doesn't belong here. This is so wrong and so unfair, and they hate women. Another thing that I find so funny is how there are so many feminists pro-Hamas and supporting Islamists, feminists, which literally like Islam.
So this Christian influencer girl gets taken over to Israel to do a pro-Zionist propaganda tour.
Against women.
And like her and Tommy Robinson and all the Zionists, oh, hey, Goy, you want to save yourselves? We need more Jesus to save us.
I think the main problem also that in the West, in Europe especially, not in the...
No, she spoke at the Tommy Robinson Festival. Tommy's a huge Christian shill now, by the way. No, her name is Alda. She used to do topless photos, but now she's a E-Crusader influencer girl. You know, I think I'm going to pick up tomorrow with this Somalia and this Steve Saylor. Is the guy's name? We'll do the Somalia stuff and then Steve Saylor's interview. We'll cover that tomorrow and whatever else comes up. I got to get going. We're way over 2 hours. We smashed the goal. Huge show. Appreciate all the support. Let me know what you think in the comments. Clip the show. Share the links. Give it a like. Subscribe star link down below. And no, Liam, I don't have any saved pics. I'm not going to send them to you. You can try to find them yourself. All right. Love you guys. Super shout out for the big donos we got earlier today. I want to give a super thanks. That guy gave 200. Let's get his name drop. What was it? Kush something? It was not somebody that normally donates. Liam, Maxed Out Bear, Parisia Time, Harry Kunth. Wait a second. I don't think that's his real name. Harry Kunth? Is that your real name, Harry? I thought it was a real name. I'm just saying Harry Cunt over here. Oh my gosh. How dare you, Harry? It was a joke. I just didn't get it right away. Oh my God.
I knew it was a joke, Mikas. I just didn't get it right away.
Sorry. Right over my head. Didn't get it. That's funny. If that really is a real name, that's funny. Oh, Mike's brother. His brother, Mike Hunt. All right. You guys are bad. All right. See you guys tomorrow. And if you don't watch, Happy New Year. Books coming out beginning of January. Going to be a huge 2026. We're on the march, and the Christ cucks and the Judeo cucks are on the run. The Abrahamic matrix is going down, brother. All right.